I think Connor might be gay. I think Connor is gay. Dude, something wrong with these boomers. Bro, look at this fucking specimen. The fucking missing link over here. Neanderthal ass fucking dude.
Well, I think this is what happens when people fuck with the panelverse that way.
You've got to look out for my guy. You've got to look out for Rob. Look out for little Robbie.
Pretty thankless job, but that's
See,
what he
they're
does.
coping as well. They're pretending that Rob is, like, amazing as well. It's just, like, it's transparent shilling. Like, this is just shameful. Huge panel drama. Huge panel drama. Huge, tiny shitter panel drama. I don't know if you guys know all these characters. So, I mean, I may need to explain the sort of drama setting we're getting into. You will know Counterpoints. Obviously, you know I'm sure many of you know Counterpoints. Destiny's final friend, Counterpoints Connor. Obviously, he's been on the stream many times. We've covered him many times. You'll know him. You may well know Rob Noerr as well. Frequent Destiny and Pisco antagonist. Frequent heel for those guys. So hopefully you know those two. Hopefully you know those two. Otherwise, if you don't know those two, then you're going to be really lost. Okay, you're going to really struggle with this. Andrew Wilson is another one. Hopefully you should know. Andrew Wilson of the Crucible. Used to be called Big Papa Fascist. Now, sort of a big deal debater. He's a big deal debater. He sells a debate course. In fact, he calls it a verbal combat. It's a debate course about how to win arguments in bad faith online, basically, is the whole point. And yeah, so those are the characters. Those are the characters you'll know. Those are the characters you'll know. Now, this isn't in Twitch poll. You'll know many of those characters from Twitch poll, but this isn't really in Twitch poll. This is in a new thing called the Panelverse, they call it. The Panelverse. Now, you may know, like, Dabbleverse, I think is the name of, like, a sort of, like, lolcow grouping. This kind of reminds me of that from the brief bits I've seen. But it's called the Panelverse. And it's made up of Sarah the Raging Tomato. Do we know Sarah the Raging Tomato? Sarah the Raging Tomato? Do we know this woman? She's a very strange looking woman. Very strange middle-aged blonde woman. With a very scary face. Very scary looking face. Sarah the Raging Tomato. That's one of them. She runs a show. Then there's Escape with Speakeasy. You may remember, if anyone has the clip of the tribute to the kid, please send it to me, but I don't have it. Speakeasy. This guy called Escape with Speakeasy, who runs a panel show called Verbal... wait. Did I mix up... I think I might have mixed up names. Speakeasy's show is Verbal Combat. What's the name of Big Papa Fascist's, Andrew Wilson's debate course? That has a similar name, right? That has a similar name, I think. Anyway. Sarah the Raging Tomato, Speakeasy. And there's Trippy Cast. That's another one. That's a new small one. Debate University. That's Andrew Wilson's one, thank you. And Trippy Cast. That's the other show. So all these little shows have like all the same participants. It's all like... all the panel hosts go on all the other shows. Rob Noerr goes on all the shows. Andrew Wilson shows up once in a while and like keeps the whole space together on life support. Yeah, Rob Noerr goes on. Radical Coder, frequent guest on many of these shows, I believe. If you know Radical Coder, used to chat here quite a lot. All sorts of people, all sorts of like DGG rejects and, you know, other sorts of cast-offs. Show up in these panels. Yeah, I know the panelverse stuff is bad. And it's even worse than Twitch poll panels because it's their open panels. So, you know, like Prime Kai's, you know, Prime Kai, you know, the black guy who hyperventilates a lot, the bald black guy who's always hyperventilating. It's like open panels like that where it just runs for like 6 or 7 hours and people just join. People just join. It's on like, you know, what's that thing called? StreamYard. That's it. And people just join over the course of like 6 or 7 hours. There's like fucking a bunch of people on there. And they have like menus for donos. So basically you can donate to like mute people and shit like that, which is just like one of the most awful mechanisms to have in these panel shows. But they make a fuck ton of money off of it. It's like terrible content, but they make a fuck ton of money off of it. Even on small viewership. So egos run high. And basically, there was a either a Sarah the Raging Tomato or a Trippy cast where Rob Noerr is getting into it with this guy called Dusty. Rob Noerr is getting into it with a guy called Dusty. And Rob pleads, he begs and pleads for moderation. He says, this guy keeps interrupting me. I can't get my points out. And he was right. He was right. He was right that he was getting interrupted a bunch and it wasn't fair. And then Sarah the Raging Tomato, whatever, says, you see, the thing is, Rob, you have to just like lay down and take it. If you tell Trippy what to do, then he's not going to do it. He's going to be less inclined to do it. So if you just like let him interrupt and wear himself out, maybe you'll be able to get your point out. Which is just like terrible moderation. Let's be real. Which is atrocious, retarded moderation. But Rob's response to it is also pretty bad. So let's take a look. Let's see. How does Rob react to this situation? He puts himself on mute. He leaves the panel. What does he say? Pisco's clipped this on Twitter.
I do not do that. And that's not what I'm saying when I say I'm above these people. I'm not making a claim I'm smarter than them. I'm making a claim that I have proven myself through these debates and my ability to have serious debates that I don't need the fucking Jerry Springer show. I don't need it. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck anymore. Fuck you, Sarah. You fucking Jerry Springer host wannabe motherfucker. You suck. You're fucking garbage. Your moderating skills suck. The truth is, you like Dusty, so you're gonna kiss his ass. That's the fucking truth. No one's intimidated by you and your fucking cretins. You're garbage. That's the truth. You fucking coward. Send in DMs. Let me give you some unsolicited advice. Here's some unsolicited advice for you, motherfucker. Learn to do your job as a moderator before you fucking criticize anyone else. How's that?
Dude.
Understand that you rely on the talent of others for your fucking channel success. At least with Radical Coder or Dusty, they're the ones doing the fucking work for their channels, albeit if they're successful or not, but not you. So don't come at me with your, the problem is, you take things too seriously and blah, blah, blah. Hey, have a laugh, bitch. Have a laugh about it. Don't take this too seriously, you fucking loser.
Have a laugh, bitch.
Right? It's all for yucks. We're laughing it up. We're having.
So yeah, that's a little taste of what's going on here.
In one case, you say,
let's see. I believe this is another interaction that led us to a Trippy cast interaction here.
In one case, you say, of course we should
This is
do
with
that.
the Dusty guy. This is with the Dusty guy.
You say, no, we shouldn't because a lot of people don't like that. Okay, I don't care. Let's assume Dusty was at January 6th, right? And he goes back, I don't know where you're from, Dusty. Let's assume you're from Alabama, right? So he goes back to Alabama, and the federal authorities are like, we're coming to Dusty's house to arrest him. And Dusty shelters up in a state courthouse, and this governor of Alabama is a right-winger and says, nope.
Again, not comparable because the safe spots are for illegal immigrants, not for people who are engaging in insurrection or whatever. As you put it.
It does not matter. The reason that we're saying, the reason that it matters would be this, that the people attacking federal law enforcement to protect Dusty would be engaged in an insurrection, right?
Yeah, because they'd be going against the government.
Yeah. I think this is the panel that made him freak out, right?
The criteria from both
the legal criteria is there. Well, there actually really is no legal criteria except the president just determines that this counts. So legally, the right is there, but is it wide? Is it a good decision? Absolutely not. I don't know why. What? Let me ask you this. Why was it a good decision for federal agencies to go pursue illegal immigrants in country or in states where they're not wanted and where these aren't even border states. It's not like they have a current problem with bringing in more illegal aliens.
Okay, first, if you don't mind me answering with a question, I know it's bad form. I'll just
Let's
ask.
do one-on-one, gentlemen. 1 second.
So guys, I'm
You
gonna do
do
a quick,
agree
quick
it's the
show. Guys, 400 people here, 60 likes on the stream, so almost 340 people. And please move their cast a thumbs up and clicking it, or pressing thumbs up on the mobile device. That'd be hugely appreciated. If you want to take your support one step further, you can donate directly through a Stream Elements link in the pin chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat, buy a super chat which will highlight a message or TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or gift that will be highlighted in chat and I'll subscribe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's put a goal up as well.
Purview of the federal government to enforce immigration law, correct?
Yes.
So if a state such as California says we disagree, we want to allow these people here, that's irrelevant. The federal government's
If the
one.
if the federal government is doing a dramatic change in their approach to enforcing the laws, that's bad leadership. That's bad management.
You might say that. I think it's bad management that we've let dozens of millions of illegals in here. So I think that was
Fair
bad
enough.
management, and I think turning that around and enforcing the law is good management. Nonetheless, so to answer your question, once you agree with that, yes, it would not matter if it's in the heart of America. I don't give a shit if it's a completely insulated state like Nebraska. Of course, I want the feds enforcing immigration law there. The idea that because they get to a state that's not a border state, then we should no longer enforce it is nonsensical. Not to mention that maybe many of these people that are being deported, in addition to just being, the laws should be enforced anyways, because that's the immigration law, many of them are members of gangs or people that have engaged in violence that the state governments have allowed slip through
Many
their
of them are
fingers.
not as well. Of course, they're going to promote the ones that are, for sure.
Sure, but let's say I could concede. We'll say some are, some aren't. Forget the percentages. Doesn't matter.
Let's say most of them are.
Okay, let's say that for the sake of argument. I don't know that that's true, but let's say nonetheless, the law should be enforced to all of these people. And why would we say that the feds would not be allowed to go into these states if it's clear that they're ones that even you're admitting are hardcore criminals that the state government's incapable or unwilling to detain?
Well, there are.
So I don't know. What is the ruling on this? Is there like a ruling on this? I assume there's got to be some kind of legal argument here about like states' rights and the ability for states to decide whether that's enforced in their state or not, right?
Hardcore criminals everywhere. You could throw a dart at a map, and there would be a criminal.
Nonetheless,
right?
Your point was, why would we accept federal authorities? Why would we want them to enforce immigration law in non-border states?
If you acknowledge that there are criminals everywhere in the world, right? And now all of a sudden we have ICE choosing to enforce these across the country in a way that we've never been done before. That's an aggressive act by the federal government against states, against the states' wishes, and it's purely antagonistic.
It's not antagonistic, right? Enforcing the federal law isn't antagonistic. And again,
Okay, so I see. So the federal immigration law stands everywhere, but states can choose how much they enforce. So they can just so they can like stop state police and shit from helping ICE. Yo, thank you for the dono. Hugely appreciated. Oh, thank you for the 199 Knoxville in chat as well. Thank you. Let me just check. Dude, my stream almost isn't logged in. Fuck. Fuck. Oh my god. I logged into the wrong one. But yeah, so they can choose the enforcement, but not how the immigration works. So what is it? A sanctuary city, so I'm totally clear on this, is just a city where there is no assistance for ICE, right? Is that what that means? Is that what that basically is? There's just no assistance to ICE. They don't report any of it. Thank you for the $50 anonymous. Huge appreciated the stream notes there. Where normal police don't do immigration for once. Got you. Okay.
let's assume, I just want to be clear. If ICE was an agency that found through their investigations of a criminal cartel that was smuggling people in, that a member of ISIS had been smuggled in and was in California, and the government of California is like, we just don't cooperate with ICE, and ICE went in there and arrested this member of ISIS planning a terror attack, your argument is no, they shouldn't do that because that member of, let me finish, that member of ISIS made it to a non-border state, so therefore we shouldn't care.
Nope. My argument is that terrorism is a DHS thing. It's not an immigration. At this point, that person their immigrant status, not really even doesn't matter at all. What matters is that they're planning terrorist attacks. And so, yeah, that needs to be stopped and that needs to be picked up. But their immigrant status is.
You say it's DH. I want you to take a guess. ICE operates under which agency?
I'm sorry, it's FBI. FBI is who's.
I don't think that the FBI is the sole. You don't think the DHS also works on anti-terror investigations?
I don't think that ICE is primarily responsible for investigating terrorism.
Well, it might not be primarily, but certain in the course of law enforcement, if they come to find that there are actual terrorists, why would we? The point I'm trying to make is it's clear that your argument that it's somehow different if ICE is enforcing getting rid of illegals in Texas, that's somehow different than California because California doesn't directly border Mexico, which, by the way, isn't true. It does, I believe, at the southern part.
Well, I said not all of them.
Okay, so then Illinois.
Oregon, Illinois.
Okay.
Right.
But
So
there's that distinction doesn't matter. Who cares? But why does it matter? So you're okay with ICE in Texas, just to be clear.
No, but I think that they've got a better justification for it because it is a border state. So you could say that.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, if Texas is making the problem worse actively in the moment, that's different than the status quo. The fact of the matter is, for my whole life,
Yeah, life, I don't really. This argument like doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
We've had pretty lax ICE enforcement. For
Agreed.
Trump, right. So for Trump to just all of a sudden go, hey, we're coming to all your states, whether you like it or not, that's a dramatic change in policy. It's aggressive and it's overreach.
Do you think that if you were an illegal, that you would be more willing to go to a state to settle in that claimed to want to support?
I feel like you shouldn't contest the idea of the federal government being able to enforce immigration law. I feel like you should be contesting the ways it's being enforced right now. Right? There's just been a Supreme Court ruling to allow for racial profiling in the enforcement of immigration law. There's, ICE officers are masked and totally unaccountable. They're trying to pass laws to further obscure identities and shit. Gavin Newsom's doing the opposite. There's people imitating ICE and fucking raping women because of the fact that they're masked and unidentified. They're enforcing it at court appointments. People have court appointments for their immigration, trying to do it the right way, and people get bagged there. People get bagged at schools. There's a bunch of ways it's being enforced that you can take issue with. I feel like it's a fucking total losing game to try and contest the enforcement of immigration law by the federal government. That's not the right point to contest.
You and call themselves a sanctuary state.
Yes.
So do you think that if you're a federal government trying to deport illegals, that the best place and most likely place to go to find them would be these very sanctuary states?
Yes.
So then your only argument seems to be here, well, hey, I want these illegals to stay because we've always let them stay, and it's radical to now enforce the law that's on the books.
My argument is that there are proper ways to start re-implementing things that we haven't been implementing, and having federal agents kick the door in on states that don't want them there is not a good way to do it. It's an antagonistic way to do it.
So what should they have done?
And it's gonna create more problems than it's gonna solve.
What should they have done?
What should they have done? They should start slowly restricting and increasing enforcement of immigration laws over time. They shouldn't just.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What's that mean?
Okay,
we have not been enforcing these laws.
Okay,
but we want to start enforcing them.
Okay, so I'm Trump's administration.
Turn up the heat.
I'm Trump's administration. I just watched the previous administration let millions upon millions of illegals in and not enforce immigration law. So I have 4 years to try to do something. Your argument is I should come in Trump's administration and say, listen, California, Illinois, we want to gradually start enforcing immigration laws. They say, no thanks. Now what do I do?
Well, you started with it at the border. You as the president and in charge of federal agencies, you do what you're chartered to do. What you
enforce
don't do
immigration laws. Correct. That's what you're chartered to do. That's part of the law.
You have no ability. You have no ability to think in nuance, do you, or to understand the kind of.
I do. You're looking at it in the inverse.
The diplomacy. In America, we've got states' rights, we've got federal rights.
Let me ask you this stuff.
It's a big complex system that works on checks and balances, and you just want, and it seems like you want a king.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that there are members of Congress that deal in insider trading?
Yeah.
Do you think that's something, I think we would both agree that's something we would like to be enforced?
Yes.
Do you agree that it's hardly ever enforced?
Yes.
So if we elect, I don't know who your ideal president would be, but let's say we elect Rand Paul. And he's like, you know what, my first act, fuck it. We're aggressively going after the Congress people that we know of insider trading. Your argument would be, no, because we have never enforced those laws. So you can't just go after people. You would have to be very gradual in how you went after it.
It is
Explain.
it is an entirely different PR position.
Well, yes,
public,
it's right.
Right.
So the argument
you don't think that the sentiment of the American public watching what their government's doing, you don't think that matters?
Of course it
Yeah,
matters.
this is like
right? And if they
this Dusty guy's terrible argument.
like it, then they could go to the ballot box and they could vote to change the law. But both scenarios are analogous in this. There are laws on the book, right? In both cases, the government have ignored the laws on the book. In both cases, someone would run on promising to enforce those laws. In both cases...
What do you mean he's not a debater? This guy sits around on fucking debate panel shows for 7 hours a night.
They come in and say, okay, it's time to start enforcing. And in one case, you say, of course we should do that. And the other, you say, no, we shouldn't because a lot of people don't like that. Fuck it. I don't care. The law is the law. If those people don't like it, then they could vote to change the law.
What is the objective? What is your objective with the situation? You just want all laws enforced, or is there a bigger picture here? All laws enforced no matter what?
I want our illegal immigration laws enforced and the illegals to be removed from the country. That's what I voted
for. Regardless of whether or not it creates other issues, it creates civil unrest.
If other people decide, you tell me, then what else should we do? So if the left decides to riot every time they don't get their way, then the right should never do anything that they'll be willing to riot over?
No, I don't think that this is the right issue, and I don't think that this is a very, very predictable situation. It's actually, this situation is guaranteed.
Do you remember when the Insurrection Act was declared against Governor Wallace for integrating schools?
I don't remember it. I wasn't there.
But you know that occurred.
Yes.
Okay. Would you say that forcing integration was something that was likely to inspire a lot of anger?
Rob is like
and
a good debater on like the broad scale, but like he's totally, he's a little bit delusional about his skill level and is like completely outclassed by Pisco. He clearly thinks he's better than he is. Like, he's not bad, but he thinks he's way better than he is.
Yes.
So therefore, we shouldn't have done it, correct?
That's my opinion. I don't think that it should have been enforced.
So you don't think that we should have enforced integration?
I don't think that we should have bused black students to white schools and enforced it that way. No.
Busing's different. The question was allowing black students into white public schools.
Again, I think that I would have, if it were me, and this is not really the point of the debate, but I would have just removed the laws without enforcing the integration part. Yeah, I think
so. So just to be clear, you would have said the federal law would have said, look, if you're a public school, you can't discriminate based on race. We both agree that should be, our tax dollars shouldn't be allowed to white only spaces, correct? Okay. But you just wouldn't enforce it. The schools would say, fuck you, we're not going to leave blacks in, and you would have said, okay.
I wouldn't force it. I would enforce it, but not force it. What they did is force it.
Wait. Explain the difference between enforcing the law and forcing it.
Enforcing means you prevent the school administrators from breaking the law.
That's what they did. Wallace refused to allow black.
Enforce it means that you bus in black students. So
you're telling me that it was a forced busing issue. It wasn't that there were black students that lived in the area and wanted to go to that school.
I don't know for sure because I wasn't there, but the impression I'm under is that they brought in black students to white schools and that created conflict. I wouldn't have created that conflict to prove a point.
I don't think that's the case, but even if it was, it would have been inevitable in a very short amount of time, right? That once integration in public spaces was the law of the land, that there would have been blacks that if you just took them to the nearest school would have been schools that were predominant, that were always white. You agree with that?
Right.
And in that situation, if the governor said, nope, we're not allowing this, you would have sent in the National Guard and have used the Insurrection Act.
Then that's when you enforce it. Then
but you don't have any clue if that's what happened or not.
No, I don't. I wasn't there. This isn't the point of the topic of the debate. You're asking me to speculate about something that happened 50 years ago.
The topic.
No, I wasn't there for the historical question. Thank you so much.
The reason that this matters is because you talked about the need to not do things, even if they are enforcing the law.
People still using the classics.
There are segments of the population that would be angry about it and maybe use violence.
Is the law always right?
No.
So why is that your only priority is enforcing something that you acknowledge can be wrong.
It's not my only priority. My priority,
Well,
regardless, if I had to vote right now, if we as a country had voted for open borders and that was the law of the land, I would want to vote for not open borders, right? Now, luckily for me, that's already what the law has been. So there is a law on the books that I want enforced, that lawfully should be enforced. And one of the reasons, so that's the reason that I want it, because it's a law that I care for and think that should be enforced, that would make things better for the country, and it's already the law. But let me turn the question to you, right? Do you think that political violence and political terrorism is a bad thing?
Yes.
What about political terrorism itself is uniquely bad?
Unique amongst other violence?
Yes. Like, so example, it's bad if I stab you for money, but there seems to be something uniquely bad if I stab you for a political reason. Why?
I disagree that.
Well, yeah, let me explain and you tell me if you agree
Okay.
or not. Because when we allow people to change the course of our laws through violence, that's uniquely bad because it encourages other people that are unhappy with the law to say we too will use violence, correct?
Correct.
We'll just do
So
it
then
this way.
then I'll finish with this. So then your argument that we can't enforce immigration laws that are on the book because people will act in violence is giving in to political terrorism.
If you have states and communities that have massive illegal immigrant populations because we have not been enforced, because the
Yeah, I
government's
think
been
a certain
lax
overstar
on
woman should be put in
enforcing
prison,
those
frankly.
laws, and you go in one day against the local community's wishes, yes, that's really not on
I
them.
think
That's
baby
on
murder.
And by the way, there is also a lot of controversy about whether or not they are actually just enforcing the law because courts keep ruling against the way they're carrying out their
Doesn't matter.
jobs.
And the courts get show me
Of
one
course
time.
it fucking matters.
Show me
It
one
doesn't
time it's
matter.
show me one time it's made it to the Supreme Court and they've upheld those court decisions.
So, okay, that was one of the debates, I guess, that led to this kind of crash out. Now, where was his... He has just like a rant, right? Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this video. So this is like his big, long
With
rant.
each other for a couple months, I guess, ever since I debated this RTP guy.
So he's got this really unfunny Dragon Ball edit at the
I think
start
he
of it.
doesn't know. I think he doesn't know the power of the panelverse.
So, as unfunny as this edit is, the sound bites are fucking crazy. The sound bites are fucking crazy. He doesn't know the power of the panelverse.
Oh shit! Not the panelverse! Oh no! Not the fucking panelverse! Beware the panelverse! He doesn't run afoul of the panelverse. Who could know the great Sarah Tomato? The power she wields, the power of the panelverse.
Yeah, this is just incredibly embarrassing for all involved.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. Sarah and me have been a little chippy with each other for a couple months, I guess, ever since I debated this RTP guy. She wanted me to apologize because I brought up his kids. I didn't bring up his kids in a ridiculous connotation whatsoever. He was insulting me both before the stream and during the stream about how I clearly couldn't get a woman and wouldn't be.
Yeah, remember when boomers just had 9 to 5s? Remember when boomers just had like 9 to 5s? They just like went to work, had like friends at work. Well, maybe went to the pub after work, went home, watched TV, stayed fucking quiet, and you didn't have to hear them talk. Remember those days, like literally like 3 years ago, 5 years ago? Remember how good it was pre-COVID? When there were no fucking old people online doing debate panels?
He married and implied that like I'm unattractive or some bullshit like that. I asked if he was married. He said he used to be, but he big manned me that he sleeps with a bunch of women. So I said, "Do you have kids?" Now I asked that question for a reason, not to insult his kids. Oh my gosh, parents have thought, because it's ridiculous as it is. I never thought it was a big man. Oh man, you sleep with a bunch of chicks, cool. But it goes from being like, whatever, this is stupid, to, yeah, it's actually really fucking tragic. If you have a family, that's bad. That's really bad. That's it. That's all I said. You have kids, then I wouldn't be bragging about having a shitload of women. Why don't you settle down and find him a mother? Then I said something, I don't even know if people could hear it, but he claimed that he was going to titty fuck me. And I was like, you talk like that in front of your kids? Or something like that. That's it. This is after he was going after me for my wife and shit. But I didn't care. I wasn't walking away there like, ooh.
So some guy was saying he's gonna titty fuck Rob.
I was just like, you gave me shit,
Dude.
I gave you shit, no problem. By the way, that's
These guys are like 40, by the way.
You'll see, I think
These guys
Sarah
are all like 40.
misinterprets with me. Nonetheless, Sarah asked me said I should apologize to him afterwards. I assume something happened, like RTP Price said, I don't want to come back because things got personal. And then she asked me to apologize. I said, no. I never told people that Sarah asked me to apologize. What I did was said that people suggested that I apologize. And I was wondering to my audience, did they think I went over the line? And most of my audience said no. But a couple said, yeah, you still shouldn't have said kids. I was like, well, I'm not going to apologize. And I told Sarah that. And I was like, no hard feelings. If you can't have me back on the show, no problem. Totally get it. Not going to apologize. Apparently, some people made snide comments to Snare about this. I came on the next day and told my audience, don't fuck with Sarah. she didn't do any, it's fine. Ever since then, it's like things have been chippy. Now, she has, my audience always wants me to go on these panels. Okay, I'm going to go on the panel. Connor's there. Connor's talking about real conservatives, after Charlie Kirk and shitting on Charlie Kirk and stuff. And everyone's like, go get that fucker. Go on the open panel and get that fucker. So I go on the open panel and I get that fucker. And he, once he starts getting blown out, starts spurging out and just fucking talking over me. It's constant. And then finally, the moderator, Sarah's just letting it go. So I fucking start talking over him. And then Sarah will be like, gentlemen, both of you stop it. And then he announces, yeah, Rob, I am going to interrupt you because I think you're wrong. So anytime I think you say something that's wrong, I'll interrupt.
If I have a point to make, or if I feel like you're asking a question that implies something, I'm going to interrupt you in order to point it out. And if you're not an asshole, you'll let me do it.
Bragging that he's going to interrupt. He proceeds to do it for the majority of the debate.
So should we see a bit of the counterpoints debate? I think maybe we should see a bit of the counterpoints debate. Where was it?
If you turned off your tribal brain for 3 seconds, if a Democrat had similar evidence in reference to them, you would be as confident as I am.
Like Destiny?
No, like, hold on. What I'm doing is I'm consenting to an interrogation. You're speaking for 2/3 of the runtime, and then I'm answering your questions. Then you're jumping to your next question. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you, like, interrogating my values, virtues, questions, whatever.
I'll warn you, this was really gay. Yeah, all of these debate panel shows are really gay. That's why we're here.
But if I have a point to make, or if I feel like you're asking a question that implies something, I'm going to interrupt you in order to point it out. And if you're not an asshole, you'll let me do it.
Okay, thank you for adding that point that you needed to get out that rubbed nothing for this whatsoever. Now that you've admitted that there's things that can be done.
I was in Pisco's chat last night. Pisco was talking to Connor about all this. And Connor said, you know Brad Palumbo? Do you guys know Brad Palumbo? Do you guys know Brad Palumbo? Yeah, so Tequila knows. He's a gay Republican dude. He does like, we've watched one of his videos, at least one or two of his videos before. He's this gay Republican guy who does kind of like, I call out both sides content a little bit, And Connor said, I see a kindred spirit in Brad Palumbo, and so I was just in chat being like, I think that's the only. I feel that's not the only reason Connor sees Brad as a kindred spirit. I think that's potent. I think Connor might be gay. I think Connor is gay. I might be becoming convinced of this, that Connor is gay. Queen Bee is gay. Queen Bee, what do you think? Is Connor gay? Closeted vibes from Connor, I fear. I'm getting the sense. I'm getting an awful sense. Okay, we're getting indications of gayness.
Now that you've admitted that there's things that you could do, that someone could do that would make them, even if they were influential, you not want to work for them, I have a couple more questions. Do you consider yourself a conservative?
Yes.
And you'll acknowledge that Destiny said conservatives should fear for their lives to go in public.
Can we see Connor on Grindr in the bathroom while his wife's in the other room? Can we see that? Can we envisage this? Can we?
Yes, I will also add to the fact, hold on, stop. I told you that you're running an interrogation, and I want to
Just make your
answer in the
point.
fullest amount.
The meta shit's irrelevant. Go.
Okay, so stop interrupting. So the entire context of that sentence, which I disagree with, which I've spent 5 hours criticizing, is the fact that he said that conservatives should fear for their lives going to public
Rob
events.
too? Do you
and
think
should
Rob
fear being
too?
killed.
Do you think Rob too? I think there might be. There's something in that. There's something in that. So yeah, there's a lot of whining about interrupting in this panel.
Connor
Lucy, anyway.
interrupts as I'm trying to talk.
He
Concert
does,
constantly.
and I'm trying to shut it down, but nobody will shut up
So true. Connor has the pained eyes of a tortured gay soul.
so that I can shut you up.
So I'm making a point. I didn't go after Connor's family just willy-nilly. I went after a person who I wasn't treating as an inferior because she came after me first. I didn't know Connor's
don't
wife.
care,
She
bro.
on.
I don't care.
Shut up,
I
Rick.
really
No one
don't
asked
care.
you.
No,
Shut
no.
up.
Minutes listening to Rob bloviate. So you're saying that I'm interrupting him, but if he
Remember
says
the end of
incorrect,
American Beauty where the Marine dad tries to force him on Kevin Spacey and then shoots him when he's rejected. Good movie.
Thank you for the $5, Jimberly. Thank you.
shit in front of me, I'm going to interrupt them, particularly if we're hitting the 2 or 3 minute mark.
What I usually like to say is you can absolutely say that what somebody says is the fucking dumbest thing ever. However, just wait till they're finished to tell them that was the dumbest thing you fucking heard.
But I don't
ever.
want to wait 5 minutes.
However,
that's the point I'm making. If Rob wants to do
however,
5 minute back and forth, we can set up a one-on-one conversation. But I'm not interested in doing 5 minute back and forth right now. And
You
I also
don't allow
feel it's fair
6
to the other
words.
panelists.
However, the more you interrupt his.
This is just so
his-
shameful. This is really what you're spending your 10th of October. Your Friday night doing. This is what you're spending your Friday night doing.
You were interrupting when he got to probably 10 seconds.
At age 40.
And then once that interruption happens, then it prolongs, and then it prolongs, then it turns.
So don't say wrong shit. We won't have a beef.
I'm probably the only conservative here, aside from Rob. Like, you have not allowed 6 words. You've pivoted from every question he's asked you to another Trump dichotomy.
Ask
Is
me a
it
direct
true?
question. I'll answer it directly.
Okay, directly. If Charlie Kirk passed away from natural causes, would you identify his passing as a net positive for society,
Yes.
or a net negative?
100% positive.
Okay, I'll finish
So
the
it's a good
point.
thing that
I'll-
Charlie Kirk is gone. So it's not even a fact of the matter that
Dude, this
it was
bald
an
dude is
assassination,
terrifying.
because
What is
you, along
going
with
on,
the
man?
left,
This bald dude in the
believe
bottom
that
right.
stuff. Like, you lack
Dude,
integrity.
both the
I'm not
bald
gonna-
dudes are scary as hell.
You lack integrity. Like, you have bad
Wait,
faith.
and North has joined. North, the counterpoints fan, he's joined. Oh my
Wait,
god.
hold on.
I'm
You
an Army
asked
veteran,
me-
and
hold on, I
integrity
wanna
is a
make-
key
I wanna make
facet
this-
of military
Oh,
system.
You said that I was being evasive. You asked me a direct question. I answered you directly. How was this any indication? of
Because
an
it's boring,
issue
because you've
with
exposed that
integrity?
fact all night. You've exposed the
That
fact
is
that
the
you
me and
truly
Connor
believe
guy,
that
yeah.
people like Charlie Kirk, people like Trump, people like Rob, like me, like Andrew Wilson should be smoked. You've already exposed yourself. The only question is, what do we do about people like you in this country?
I reject.
What can we do?
directly say it anyway, I was saying earlier. He won't directly say it. He'll just say that the world would be better off.
Had to do was sign up for tier 2. Cause you're my Patreon girl and your love for me depends
They
on
just drop in these like dog watching, dog fucking Patreon shit. Okay, great, awesome stuff, man. Dude, something wrong with these boomers.
At one point in that debate,
We get the
Sarah
idea.
tells
We get
me
the idea.
that the reason he's interrupting me is because I said that he should stop. Dusty, why
All
can't you be quiet when other people are talking?
Because he doesn't like
That's a
it when you
great
tell him what to do. If you don't tell him what to do, he'll actually oblige more accordingly.
Okay, I let him talk unfettered, basically. I start talking, he interrupts. Sometimes he interrupts and then he gets to speak after Sarah separates it. Sometimes he interrupts and I get to speak. Sometimes he interrupts and then it's someone else that gets to speak. But that's what happens. Now, I wrote it off. I bitched a little about the moderation, but I'm like, fine. But I wrote it off in this sense. I said, he's the guest and I was the open panelist. Fine. Next time, I'm the guest, Sarah's friend Dusty, who came on my show in the call-in portion and got wrecked for lying about me. Dusty comes on the open panel. Same shit. He's interrupting. Like, what the fuck? Now I'm like, why does this make sense? Now, here's the thing, right? Sometimes you have to know where your bread is buttered. Do you think for a second Sarah would have let someone talk over Andrew Wilson like that? You think for a second? When she knows the majority of the financial donations I get are...
Rob got that don't ask, don't tell energy surrounding him. He still thinks he'll be shunned from family and friends for being a gay fella.
Probably members of the Crucible. You think for a second? Of course. We all know it. She gonna leave Connor talk over him like that and brag about it. She gonna leave Dusty talk over him like that and brag about it. By the way, that's okay. And I'm no Andrew Wilson. I'm not bringing her in the views and money that Andrew Wilson is. And it's kind of a smart business move. Don't shit where don't fuck over the person that's up in your channel at the most. I totally get it. I get that. And I'm not Andrew. Perfectly fine. But at some point, and I mentioned this morning, I'm fucking better than these stupid ass losers. I don't need them. I don't need to go on and talk to these fucking no-name losers that I've wrecked in debates over and over again. I don't need it. And if the game's going to be, oh, we know, we'll just keep interrupting Rob, and Sarah will just sit there and let it go, and then when I'm like, what the fuck is this? Are they going to shut up or whatever? Sarah's going to be like, Rob, you asking them to not interrupt's why they're interrupting. I don't need it. Now, am I wishing Sarah any ill? No. After it happens enough, I'm like, you know what? Hey, my name's Rob Noerr, channel's Normal America. Thanks for having me. I'm out. Oh, the trolls. Rob, rage, quit, blah, blah, blah. It's not worth my fucking time. I could think of 1,000 things that are more productive that I could be doing or more entertaining than fucking letting some nobody fucking shout over me while I can't get a word in edgewise. That's it. Done. Don't give a fuck. In that same panel, Dusty's buddy, Brick, I think was his name. I was like, we're
so
going
this
to bed
isn't
with
like
them.
totally unreasonable. And I think, you know, Sarah is like a terrible panel host and moderator. Like every time I've looked at that show, it looks fucking awful. I've never watched more than, you know, a few minutes of it at a time. All those open panels are fucking terrible. And she is entirely kept alive, I believe, by Andrew Wilson, which we'll look into if we get to that part of this drama. But she's entirely kept... In fact, we'll just... Andrew Wilson talks about it in his response, but we'll just look at Sarah's channel quickly. Oh, she's taken... All of her lives are taken down. There's no way. All of her lives are taken down.
Sometimes people...
Okay, so this is the other day when she actually had her lives up. Sorted by popular. Obviously, all the ones that are popular, it's all carried by Andrew Wilson. It's like all the first 18, I believe, most popular panels she had were all Andrew Wilson. So she was just like purely kept alive by Andrew Wilson. And he explains this in this video. But there is a little gay element to some of this that I'm not quite sure that I totally like. Andrew Wilson basically says, yeah, you didn't give Rob good treatment. Rob is my, you know, ideological grunt. He's like a grunt for my movement. I keep you alive, so you should be giving my... He basically just says this outright. You should be giving my grunts good treatment. Otherwise, I'm going to pull support from you. Fuck you, you're blacklisted. He basically just straight up said, like, you know, I'm here to run a political operation. You can't be getting appearances from me if you're not going to play ball. If you're not going to give my guys an easy ride. Which is like, yeah, on one hand, I do kind of respect the cutthroat, like, straight up, 10 toes down attitude there. But there's just, like, something a bit too gay to me about, like, being so, specific and restrictive, if you know what I mean. Like, demanding so much to, like, appear in some shit. Like, if you don't want to prop this person up, don't prop them up. You know? I felt the demanding nature of it is just a bit too gay for me. Just a bit too gay. Yeah, be nice to my friends. Yeah, it's got a bit of that about it.
So he's like, no, I refuse. And I'm like, well, then fuck it. Either he goes or I go. Because what's the fucking sense of being here? If I'm the panelist and the people that are arguing with me are like, nope, we refuse to engage. I don't do well with ultimatums. I'm like, if it came out that way, I didn't mean it as an ultimatum. I meant, why the fuck am I here? If they're going to be here, I have nothing to say. Clay, have you heard of this story?
I don't believe
You know
really
that
want
one?
answer to any of your questions.
All right, hey Sarah, I'm out then. If the only two people here that are gonna fucking talk doesn't want to respond to me, then fuck it, I'm out. You can hang out with those two. So it's me or them. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, I'm sad.
Well, to be fair,
So,
Rob,
dude, this is
I don't-
also gay. Like some 40-year-old man saying it's me or them. I can't, bro.
play that game. So if you hold on, I'm gonna put it to you this way: I host open panels for a reason. It is up to the chat to boot people from the panel. If you want to send a brigade to send $100 to officially boot somebody for the night, we can go that way. But I don't play the whole "well, it's me or them" kind of bullshit because that kind of negates the entirety of my show.
So then, okay, that's fair. So then, I will just sit here while
And
they
you're
say
not
we're not going to
important.
respond to anything you say.
You don't
Okay,
have to
well,
respond
that's fine.
to them.
That's fine.
I'm not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do.
Okay.
I don't care. But I don't play the like me or them thing because that's kind of like an asshole move. Number one.
Well,
But
no.
number two-
Wait,
Well,
it's not an asshole.
you say
I'm
this is
not
also
saying you have to
gay.
do it,
This
I'm
is
saying,
like classic Twitch poll panel style drama. Also, dude, look at this fucking specimen at the top, bro. Bro, look at this fucking specimen. The fucking missing link over here. Neanderthal ass fucking dude. Holy fuck, man. That's just crazy. Oh man. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this is like classic Twitch poll panel style drama, like Dylan Burns. And it should remind you, if you've been around a long time, hopefully you'll be getting flashbacks. Andrew Wilson is now on the other side of a drama he once had before. He once had a big drama with Twitch poll people, with Dylan Burns and all these types, about the movers and shakers in Twitch poll, about the movers and shakers, he called them. Where the movers and shakers ruin it for right-wingers like him. And now Andrew's trying to be the mover and shaker.
What's the point of this panel if the only three people talking, if they're like, we're not going to respond to anything you say? We're not going to. We're not going to answer questions.
Then somebody else can ask questions too. That's fine.
I left the panel, did a little grifting. By the way, something Andrew taught me to do by the end of the night. Try to get that super chat goal if you haven't. I come back, and I'll admit, I was like, I think that fucking moderation sucks. I think that fucking sucks. What the fuck? I'm just getting yelled over. Whatever. Anyways, no hard feelings. And I don't give a fuck, right? I can't help that some people in my audience also thought that the fucking moderation sucked. So apparently they said something to Sarah. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't watch her channel. She sent me a
the
message.
movers and shakers who stopped Chud from, but he could Chud because the movers and shakers, Chud couldn't buy his kids Christmas presents. He couldn't even afford a pot noodle because of these fucking movers and shakers, man.
Message. And
These are
Andrew
deep
read this
cuts.
on
These
stream
are
today 'cause
deep
he asked
cut
about it.
references.
She says, there's a secret weapon to
Real
panels.
ones only.
You can't show, this is the next day. There's a secret weapon to panels. You can't show any of your cards at all. By that, I mean, if someone's annoying you, interrupting or poking at things that raise your temperature.
Okay, wait. So
you can't-
this is a message from Sarah the Raging Tomato to Rob. Okay.
the next day. There's a secret weapon to panels. You can't show any of your cards at all.
Right, let's
Just
run this back
also
up,
thought that the fucking moderation sucked. So apparently they said something to Sarah. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't watch her channel. She sent me a message. And Andrew read this on stream today because he asked about it. She says, there's a secret weapon to panels. You can't show, this is the next day. There's a secret weapon to panels. You can't show any of your cards at all. By that, I mean, if someone's annoying you, interrupting or poking at things that raise your temperature, you can't let it bother you visually. The other panelists subconsciously will see those trigger points and zero in on it. They do it every time to you. You're an easy target. It's unsolicited advice. I'm aware. But the best tip I could give you is to stop reacting to their pokes and prods. Open panels are meant to be fun, lighthearted, and relaxed. They have to be that way or else they wouldn't be so fun and inviting to anyone. Witty banter plus topic discussion equals a great panel. You often enter them very hard.
See, here's the thing. Sarah's panels suck, and she's kept alive by Andrew Wilson in his orbit. Sarah's panels actually suck. She doesn't know what makes a great panel. Every time I've tried to watch it, it's been totally unbearable. So, the idea that you're talking down to anyone, you're condescending anyone about this is like absurd to me on the face of it. Now, also, if Rob's complaining about moderation interruptions, being like, "Oh, well, just don't let them annoy you. Don't show your weakness." It's like, well, no, being interrupted is just if you're bad at moderating an 8-person panel, it's going to be a shit show, and no one's going to want to go on. So maybe just drop the condescending act and look inwards. It may be that you know, truly, you think your panels are perfect. When you do look inwards, but you know, the idea that you go and send this condescending message, that's obviously not helping anything. You just come off like an annoying cunt. Let's be real.
Harshly and seriously and demanding. I've noticed you take insults very personally. And that's what they'll run you out. And that's why they'll run you out every time, because it's a killjoy to everyone else. Why is this guy taking things so serious? You gotta laugh at the digs, talk through the interruptions, and roll with the punches. Everyone throws their punches, takes the hits, laughs, and comes back the next day with a clean slate ready for more. Trash talking about an open panel being too chaotic is like complaining that the sky is blue. They will always be chaotic. You can either handle them or you can't. Now, when I received that message on October 8th, I was fucking livid. I was like, you motherfucker. Who the fuck are you? You want to know what I thought when Sarah sent that message? You want to know what I wanted to say out loud? I wanted to say, what the fuck are you? What do you do? Moderate poorly? You're one of the dime a dozen fucking people that bring on panelists that let them be the entertainment? Because you're incapable of doing it yourself? By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't get it twisted. I don't need your fucking advice. Who the fuck are you? That's what I wanted to say.
Don't get it twisted.
But I have a tremendous
Don't
wife.
get it twisted.
And I was like, can you fucking believe this? And my wife said, Rob, take a breath. Don't respond for 24 hours. Then you say what you want. But you should probably wait 24 hours. And I did. And I'm glad I did. Because I didn't respond to her. Instead, I came on my channel. Because every night that there's an open panel on Sarah's channel or anywhere else, my audience is like, go on the open panel. Go on the open panel. Go on the open panel.
Whenever people say shit like this, it's so funny to me, man. So I went and spoke to my wife about this. Like when that Badwick guy's wife was on stream, talking about how when he's making breakfast for the kids, he's talking about the A-logs. He's talking about the A-logs on Twitter when he's making breakfast for his kids. Like that sort of shit. It's so funny. Like really, you're going and like seething to your partner about this? Come on, man. Come on now.
So I had to explain to my audience why I would no longer do that. And you go back and you can watch what I said. I said, listen, I've been frustrated about the moderation on Sarah's channel and other open panels because I wasn't trying to make it just about her. And I was like, but I was messaged by someone that informed me that I'm looking at the open panels all wrong. It's not supposed to be a serious debate. It's supposed to be like a shit show, like a Jerry Springer shit show. And that's fine. If that's what people like, fine. But it's not for me. That's it. I said, so I'll continue to do a debate that Sarah moderates, but I won't do the open panel. Done. Now, to the rest of what she said about I take insults very seriously. Why? Because I give it back? Because if someone says, like, you're a fat fuck, and I'm like, dude, you look like dudes bend you over. It's like, well, you're taking that seriously. What are you talking about? The only thing that it looks like I take seriously, because it's true, is when stupid fuckers keep talking over me, over and over. The insults, I don't give a shit. I just don't give a shit. You call me a fat fuck, this, that, and don't bother me at all. So I don't know where she gets this. Well, you're an easy target. Fan of the show named Toasted reached out to me and was like, hey, I'd like to set up this debate. Now listen, I want to say this, and I have nothing against this guy Toasted, but I have to say this. I sort of just have paid attention, if I'm honest. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, I get a bunch of people that are like, will you do the show for me? Will you do this show with me? And almost always I say, yes, sure. Just this week, I did 2 podcasts of streamers that aren't big streamers that have like 30, 40 people watching. Monday, I did an excellent podcast. You should check it out. It's called Brews and Crews. Real awesome guy. We just talked about life and shit. Wasn't a debate. Great time. The guy averages 60 views per video. He doesn't do live streams. I don't give a fuck. It's fun. So when people that are like, hey.
Dude. Last night, my wife reminded me of what a counselor told me about not letting trolls get to me.
Hey, I recognize their name like, hey, would you like to come on a show? Would you like to be? I'll say sure. This guy, because of the drama with this guy, Dusty, that I'd had recently, was like, you want to debate Dusty and Radical Coder? I said, sure. You debate with this trippy guy? Sure. Who should mod? Blah, blah, blah. Sarah? I was like, I don't want Sarah to mod. Is there a problem with you and Sarah? I was like, no, I don't want to talk about it. all right. You know, it sort of got lost in the shuffle, and I saw that he kept messaging me, and I just basically ain't saying anything. And he's like, it's going to be blood sports. And, you know, I told people that, like, the topic's going to be the Insurrection Act, but it could go anywhere. You could get into real personal shit. Okay, that's fine. But I thought it was going to be a debate. That's what I thought. So we get there, we do the debate, and opening statements were fine, except totally no one's fault. By the way, Trippy, I saw Andrew say Trippy was the moderator. Trippy was not. He was the host but debater. Nova was the moderator. But the host is what's going to matter when it came to who to kick me or not. That wasn't on the moderator. That was on the host. So I get over there. The debate starts off. Opening statement's great. We start arguing. They put me in a one-on-one with Dusty. It's fine. Dusty gets blown the fuck out. He knows it. I know it. Everyone watching knows it. So we get out of the one-on-one, and Coder starts blah, 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 blah. Okay? And he's just... In fact, I don't even have to tell you. I could just fucking show you. Make up your own mind. Now, the context is, when I talk to people like Coder and fucking Dusty, this is what it's always like. Constant fucking interruptions, this, that, the other bullshit, whatever. So, at this point right here, as I'm talking to Dusty, I'm actually enjoying myself thoroughly. I think it's a good debate. Pretty reasonable.
Your number only...
Oh, the other thing to say, and this is no one's fault of anyone involved, but the last debate, like, the last 5 debates...
I don't know how much of this part I care about.
Invoke the insurrection.
These fucking people can't debate. They know that if they have a civil... If I get an invite for fucking... Here's the deal, right? There's a lot of reasons to take debates. And the last debate course I did for the Crucible, I talked about. This was the lesson I gave. It sounds...
Oh, yeah. So I think Andrew gets robbed to do, like, lessons as part of his debate university course.
So fucking dumb. The precursor to knowing, right, what to do in a debate, like how to be a good debater, is asking yourself, why am I debating? Now, that sounds dumb, and I almost felt cheapish, like the debate course people, or, you know, the debate club people.
Dude, it's like, okay, it's gonna be a really stupid reference. It's not worth it.
I'm like, what? This is dumb, but it's actually one of the most important pieces of advice I can give someone. Let's say that you're debating because you want to make money. You want your channel to grow and make money. Okay? Let's say you're debating because you want to come across as a real likable guy. Let's say you're debating because it's just a hobby and you want to learn. Or maybe you're debating because you're trying to convince an audience to vote for a particular candidate. I give one example that you guys might know from Andrew. Andrew debated this Mormon guy. He's a very pleasant man. Andrew crushed him. Objectively crushed this dude. And the dude knew it. He knew that on the individual facts, he was getting the shit beat out of him. Andrew's goal was to prove in a polite way, because he's not trying to shit on people of the Mormon faith, but that they're going the wrong way. This guy's goal
that sounds awesome.
was to make Mormons seem real nice. And you know what's funny? They both achieved their goal. The guy that Andrew debated got fucking wrecked, but he was a humble loser. And so when he walks away, it's like, yeah, I lost the argument, but was that ever my goal? He's like, well, it's just faith. It's just faith. And it's been real nice talking to you. You guys should come on. It was people that I thought were...
Okay, I want to know what the context around this Sarah quote, the power of the panel verse, all this shit is. Where's that come up?
We don't want the fucking left-wingers to have the best panels. We want the right-wingers. It's not something I'm interested in doing, having a panel. Good for Sarah. To this day, I think Sarah does a good job at setting people up. Like, it's a fucking pain in the ass to contact multiple people, to get a topic lined up, to get the people on board, blah, blah, blah. That's a pain in the ass. I think Sarah does a fine job with that from what I've seen. I think she's a terrible fucking moderator. So she's giving me this advice. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And there's nothing I hate more than, like, this fake, like, let me help you out. Like, from a place of condescension. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you? What are you talking about? Oh, thanks so much for your help. Thank you. Wow, I didn't think...
Dude, this deeper ramen tweet, man. Holy fuck. How it feels to complain about audio levels in a stream chat. Holy fuck.
Think of that. Here, I thought the panels, even if they were supposed to be fucking a little more loose, you were still supposed to be able to hear each other. That's what I thought. Not just talk through it. All right, though. But whatever. I didn't say anything. Now, if I would have while I was showering, turned on Dusty's panel and it would have just been Dusty and these goofs, I'd have probably started my show today before the call-in show and been like, oh man, big fucking Dusty, these trolls. Yeah, I'm done dealing with these fucking people. Anyways, moving on. But there I saw Sarah. I'm just going to say this. I happen to be privy to the fact that Sarah and me may be working together in the future on things like DebateCon or other projects. So I'm like, why the fuck would you, like, why would you do this? Why would you fucking, you got something to say? Come say it to my fucking face. You're going to go on a panel for 3 hours. She sat in that fucking panel. Because I went back and checked. 3 hours? You sat in that fucking panel while they talk shit on me? And you're yucking it up and all that shit? Then they intentionally sent trolls over and you sat there the whole time? 3 fucking hours? I saw this about 30, 40 seconds after I fucking turned Dusty's video on, and I about died of laughter. In fact, I woke my wife up laughing from the bathroom.
Well, I think this is what happens when people fuck with the panelverse.
Yeah, okay. We're finally here. Okay.
Well, I think this is what happens when people fuck with the panelverse that way. Right, if you're not a panelverse person and you come in and you try to fuck with the panelverse people, like they will all band together. Like you just can't do that. You can't go around to panelverse shows and flip out on.
I want to be clear. She's not just talking about last night. As I said, she sent me a message on the 8th saying they target you because blah, blah, blah. And what I didn't mention was Dusty came on my show on a call-in and got fucking schooled like the goof he is. So what Sarah's talking about is, well, I've been fucking with her friends on her panel, what she calls the panelverse, and they're all going to stick together. So, hey, you got to know. You start going after them, they're all going to brigade your channel. But listen what she says next.
Go around to panelverse shows and
plural
flip out on hosts.
Plural.
And get mad at hosts. Or
plural.
Or fuck with host shows and do that kind of stuff and then expect everyone to turn and look at you and be like, oh yeah, come on back.
In other words, she's saying her, that I fucked with her in her show. Why? Because I said her moderation wasn't very good, but that I respected her and wanted things to go well? Because at one point I was frustrated when I'm getting fucking spurged over and someone says, nope, I refuse to answer what you talk about. And I said, well, it's me or them. There's no sense me being here. That's it? Oh, well, you fucked with the panelverse, sir.
You know, like, I think he doesn't know the power of the panelverse.
I suppose you're right. I suppose I didn't know the power of the panelverse.
Very wise.
Now, I have an editor.
Very true.
Whose name is Black Elk, who's the best. Enjoy.
Okay, the cringe edit again.
I think he doesn't know the power of the panelverse.
Oh, shit! Not the panelverse! Oh, no! Not the fucking panelverse! Beware the panelverse. He doesn't run afoul of the panelverse. Who could know the great Sarah Tomato? The power she wields, the power of the panelverse. Very good. It's over 9,000! Oh, man, don't fuck with that panelverse. You fuck with one, they're all coming at you, baby. Okay. So, now here's the thing. I appreciate Andrew having my back. And I appreciate the people in my audience that were like, fuck this. I'm a petty asshole. I'll fully admit it. I'm a fucking petty asshole.
That was bad, dude.
I can be professional. I can say fuck you and be petty and still work with you. And I assume that would be the case. If I said shit about Sarah today, I'd still see her at DebateCon. And I'd be like, hey, what's up, Sarah? I wouldn't be your fucking friend. I wouldn't go out to dinner with her. But if I...
Okay, what else do we get in this video?
By the way, that's the best part. That's so fucking cringe. The panelverse. How fucking smug do you have to be? Well, us in the panelverse. Or if you watched me this morning.
Well, I want to be the bigger person here and say that we got smoked, y'all. We got to take our losses on the chest. It's true. Even I don't know anything about the guy. I'll be fair here. I just know that he's like a standard conservative. But Ortho, pretty bad showing. The other guy, what's the guy with the hat? Really bad. I mean, following that was just like I was so secondhand embarrassed. I wanted to cry. But we can do better next time.
What?
We're gonna win.
This is their trolls admitting how shitty they are. I mean, you can't even fucking troll.
the song Olympics.
Dude, I hate this
I
boomer
wasn't,
shit,
I wasn't
man.
there to. I wasn't
This
there
is
to
so
troll him.
cringy.
Like, I just
They're coping about their failures to troll.
am annoyed. Like I'm genuinely annoyed with him.
Dusty, come on, get in here, man. Pep him up. Give him the pep talk, baby.
Everybody did great. It was actually funny as fuck.
We all did great. Ignore that. We did great. You guys are super. You're the best. We did great. And then Sarah, let's play it one more time. It's fucking. Let's hear it, Sarah. Tell us about the
a joke.
awesome
Get
power of
treated
the
like a
panelverse.
joke.
Are you ready?
Well, I
Brace
think
yourself.
this is what happens when people fuck with the panelverse that way. Right. If you're not a panelverse person and you come in and you try to fuck with the panelverse people, like they will all band together. Like you just can't do that. You just can't. You can't go around to panelverse shows and flip out on hosts and get mad at hosts or fuck with host shows and do that kind of stuff and then expect everyone to turn and look at you and be like, oh yeah, come on back.
I don't want to come back. You fuckers want me.
You know, like.
And here we go. This is greatest, maybe the greatest fucking line that I've heard in the past month streaming.
I think he doesn't know the power of the panelverse.
I guess you're right, Sarah. I guess you can't just fuck with the panelverse, huh?
Okay. Well, let's watch a bit of Andrew Wilson now.
Sometimes people just don't learn. They just don't get it. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, they just don't get it. A lot of people who have carved a pretty good living off of the Crucible. For instance, if you go to Sarah the Tomatoes channel, her top 18, just put most popular in her live. The top 18, meaning the best 18 videos that she has, the top, are all me. I didn't even know I had appeared 18 times on Sarah the Tomatoes channel. I didn't even know I had been there 18 times. But the 18 times I was there are the best performing videos on the entire channel. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Now, a little bit of drama pop off. I woke up this morning, and by this morning I mean late afternoon, and was listening to Rob Noerr ranting and a raven on his channel. And I was like, well, what's all this about? What's Rob upset about? So I was tuning in and laughing as he kind of was covering what was going on. But let me explain what's going on. So I have this rule, right? There's two of them, really. The first is, you put a knife in my back, you only ever get to do it once. That's the first rule. It's a good rule. I used to be like, yeah, we can maybe work it out, and but over the years, I've just decided that it's just too much work, and I'm too busy. I'm too busy. And the second is, if you're too stupid to get it, you're too dangerous to work with. Those are the two rules. Pretty easy, right? You're too stupid to get it, then there's no point in working with you. And if you stick a knife in my back, that's the end of it. Now,
wow.
I don't ever do the revenge thing. I never go for repercussions. I never do any of that. I do the worst possible thing that you could ever do to a person, which is I just cut off all contact with them. That's it. That's usually the worst possible thing you could ever do to people who stick a knife in your back. So that usually works the best for me. Now, the original How to Lose Friends and Burn Bridges was a video I did about a year ago on Alex PWF, who decided that he was going to go to a panel that I was not on and talk about me with his friends on that panel when I wasn't around.
So I couldn't really make heads or tails of the Alex PWF and Andrew Wilson drama when it happened. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of seemed like Andrew was overreacting. That kind of seemed like that there wasn't really much there, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So, I think I covered it. I think I covered it on stream. If it didn't make, I don't remember it making a lot of sense to me. I didn't really understand why it was such a big deal. Was it? I don't know that's true that he was spreading stuff. Wasn't it like some fucking about setting up some debate and about the debate question and shit? And then they like, Alex was like venting about it being annoying to set up this debate because there was disagreement about the debate question. Alex was like venting about that on some panel, and Andrew was mad about that. They were trying to agree on a question to set up this panel. And I think Alex went and complained on this other panel about the setup, I think. See, I don't know that that's true. I don't think that's true. That's not what that drama was about, from what I remember. I'm pretty sure it was about a debate prompt.
Felt like a pretty brutal betrayal of a guy who, if you go and sort his videos by most popular, his live streams, guess what you find? The exact same thing. A lot of people who cut a nice hog off of me who just can't help. They just can't help themselves. And this is why I always say, too, never trust an e-girl.
That's what started and why Alex brought up the debate
It's not even that they're malicious. They just don't get it.
Okay.
And you can't explain it to them. You can never explain it because they just don't understand it. Now, the last message I sent to Sarah was, remember nepotism. Nepotism is how you stay successful in this world. Nepotism is how you stay successful. They just don't understand. And I don't know how else I can explain it. So we're going to dive into this. Let me give you a little bit of backstory here.
So yeah, Andrew is literally just saying, like, you've got to look out for my guy. You've got to look out for Rob. Look out for little Robbie. Which is, like, kind of fucking lame. It's kind of fucking lame.
Because I didn't know exactly what was going on until I dove in and learned what was going on. I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory so that you understand what's happening here. Okay, now I'm not going to be able to stop this systematically in order to explain more backstory to you. So you're either going...
He doesn't mean cronyism. He doesn't mean cronyism because if you look up the definition of nepotism, it includes associates, as Jay Stalk figured out last night when you got totally owned on this.
Going to be here at the beginning of the stream and get it, or you're not. What's happening here, what you're seeing, is Rob Noerr, who is in a debate panel with Radical Coder, the Powder Dusty, stupidest name ever, Nova Star, and it's moderated by this gentleman here, Trippy. Okay? That's what's happening. That's what you're looking at.
You want untrustworthy people working for you, so understand. But it's not about work. No one's working for him, right? He's not paying Sarah or anything. He goes on her shows. If you don't want to go on someone's shows, you don't go on their shows. But doing this gay conditional shit where you're like, oh, I'll only come on your shows if you're giving me preferable treatment. That's crazy.
Now, what happened is Rob, who is a world-class debater, literally world-class debater, has been up against the
He was paying her and giving her jobs. What did he hire her to do? And that makes sense for, like, no, that doesn't even make sense, really. That doesn't make sense. How does it make you untrustworthy to do a job because you didn't give Rob preferable treatment on a panel? Like, she's a terrible moderator, yeah, that's a good complaint. If you don't want to support her because she's a terrible moderator, that would make sense. But then I don't know how it has to do with, like, management. If it's a management thing, it sounds like her booking was fine. That's what Rob's saying, anyway. Why would you want to support someone and give them lucrative jobs if they talk crap about you or your crew? Because they're streamers having interactions as streamers as well, right? They're making contentious content together. Micromanaging those relationships and cutting people off because there's, small disagreements is ridiculous. It doesn't seem like a disaster waiting to happen. If that's a disaster, then, you really shouldn't. You are just going to make a gay little echo chamber. And, you can make a little echo chamber if you want to, but then, yeah, that is exactly the thing with people complaining about. They think that's really gay and lame for you to go and make a little echo chamber where you control exactly how everything goes. Where you're micromanaging relationships between content creators and bringing down the hammer if people do things you feel are out of line.
Is a valued asset to the Crucible because, well, he has this particular job that he's really good at. As stupid leftists to orbit and become dominant forces online, he catches them before they can and beats them down into the ground where they belong verbally. That's what he does. And he's really good at it. Now, it's a pretty thankless job. Pretty thankless job, but that's what he
they're
does.
coping as well. They're pretending that Rob is like amazing as well. It's just like, it's transparent shilling. Like, this is just shameful.
These pop their head up and he plays whack-a-mole with them. They pop their head up. Hey, I want to be a big lefty star. And Rob is right there to smack their ass right back down and says, no, you're not.
Dude, wait, who is going to be like a big lefty star on these fucking panels? What has even been said here? Radical, you think Radical Coder? Radical Coder hasn't gone anywhere in the last fucking 8 years he's been doing this. Why do you think he's going to go anywhere now? Like, who is Rob smacking down? Rob refuses to debate Pisco. Rob runs from Pisco.
No, you're not. And absolutely savages them back into their stupid little hidey holes from which they came. It's a very thankless job, but he's really good at it. Really good at it. And for that, Rob, we thank you. Now, he decided, since Rob is a popular streamer, and he actually has quite a large audience, considering how badly he's been
Have
blacklisted
you thought
all
about doing
over
more
the
debates? I like doing debates, but like these debate panel shows and shit are just total dead ends. So there's just like no point wasting my time, you know. It doesn't benefit me in any way. It can be like fun sometimes, but it's shit content. No one wants to watch it. You don't grow off it.
internet. He decided that he would go on and do yet another debate where Radical Coder, who's popping his head up for the purpose of some type of prominence, and he's doing what he does best, which is to bash them about the head and shoulders verbally and stuff them back into their coom hole where they belong. In this particular exchange, the beginning of this panel, Rob wanted to give these people a taste of their own medicine. I had a bad feeling in how she moderated the last debate. Yeah. Anyway, he wanted to give them a taste of their own medicine. And so what he did on this particular panel is he wanted to demonstrate for them that it's necessary to have people like him on, world-class debaters who are prominent, know people, and have a good following, that if you f with those guys, right, your bread and butter from most of these non-tent makers, and what I mean by non-tent is they rely on other people 100% for all of their content. None of them are standalone creators like myself or Rob. Sure, we can rely on people for it, but we don't have to. We can have people on the show. We don't need them. We can do solo shows. We can do debates. It doesn't really matter. We're just awesome at what we do. So anyway, back to the story at hand. Back to the story at hand.
This just feels like such like total cope.
To teach these guys a lesson about the moderator from Trippy here, Rob decided that he would stay on the panel, mute himself, right, and just allow these guys to continue with the boring panel that they had planned and show them that without him, it was not going to be a very good one. And, well, he was right. He was right. Now,
yeah, this is gay. It's just coping. Like, Rob crashed out on these panels. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, the panels were moderated like shit. The people on there are often retarded. All of this is true. Rob still crashed out and muted himself and sat there being a kind of a bitch. Like, muting yourself on a panel to whine to your chat for the duration. Like, just leave at that point. Like, why are you still there? I understand, like, you want to talk to your chat for like a minute or so, but you're there for an extended period of time on mute, just talking to your chat, complaining about the fact the panel's going on. If it sucks, leave. You know? And you can talk shit, but just sitting there on mute for ages is like totally embarrassing. Totally embarrassing. I understand Andrew just gave a cope reason about why Rob stayed, but that's not true at all. Rob was crashing the fuck out. It's an embarrassing post-hoc cope. But Andrew's like, Andrew's telling you his deal here. So anyone that's like coming here and repeating just the shit that Andrew says is like a total fucking retard. Because he's telling you here. He's here to do nepotism. He's here to show his guys and support his thing. If you're not on board, fuck off. So, yes, obviously Andrew's going to say, oh yeah, Rob was actually being really epic and based on this panel. He was actually being really put together and smart and chill the whole time. He was just being cool and collected. No, he wasn't. And Andrew doesn't even fucking believe that or give a fuck if that's the case. That's just what he's going to say. So, I mean, just, you know, repeat it and sound like a mark. Feel free. But no one else buying it.